On this episode of Pimp My Setup, we're going to be talking about your setups you submitted for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts
right now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
This episode of Pimp My Setup is sponsored by the Opera web browser. Opera now has new features including video pop-outs so you can watch YouTube videos while getting work done. This brings multitasking to a whole new level so you can be lazy and productive at the same time. Opera also has a built-in ad blocker to stop sites loaded with ads from taking forever to load. Stop what you're doing and go download the updated Opera browser. Link below. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 111, recorded live on June 12th, 2016. My name's Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Philly.
And my name is Paco Santos, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at Paco MNL.
Dude, your name is awesome. The
Really?
way, yeah, especially the way you say it, it's just like 10 out of 10. I like it.
Oh, cool.
So guys, quick announcement. I spent a little bit of yesterday to redesign the Q page because it was just like very half-assed. So now if you go to pimpmysetup.com/Q, you'll have frequently asked questions. So if you want to know how you can update your submission, if you could submit again, how you could be a co-host, all those fun things, literally everything you need to know is on that page with how you should actually type out the subject, what information I need, examples of good photos, everything you need is on that page. Go check it out. And again, pimpmysetup.com/Q, submit your setup. And it'll also tell you what episode we're booked up to. I do have like 200 setups to still go through, but right now we're booked up to episode 141. So yeah, it's a bit away, but that's all the announcements we have. We have 9 setups to go through, and actually for once in a long time, they're all really pretty damn good, which is
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, because the lowest score is a 70, which is exciting news. So let's just get right into it. First setup of the day, submitted by Nils. Nils is from Switzerland. He took several part-time jobs to pay for his dream setup. He's going to college, and he likes simplicity. That's something he wants us to know. So with all that in mind, how old do you think he is?
All right. Wow, always wanted to play this game. All right, so he's going off to college. So I'm assuming he's like, what, 17 years old?
17? He's 16. So yeah, I guess it's a little different in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But I could just tell you, like, his setup has improved over, because you can update your submission. So he sent in tons and tons and tons of some updates, and it finally looks like he has it the way he wants it,
Totally.
Which is nice. So initial thoughts, what do you think of this?
Initial thoughts, like, I could really see how he's into the whole minimalist aesthetic, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It looks really good. Like, out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. Usability is right there, and he really made the effort into hiding the wires, like with a wire cover thing behind the monitors. But initially, what I realized, or what really threw me off initially, was the zebra posters. Like, he should have framed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's such a great setup. You got something really going on here, and aside from the zebra posters, it's just the speakers up top. That's what I kind of deducted some points on usability.
Yeah, agreed. That's exactly what I did, because maybe if you want to have the speakers up there and you want to for some reason explain to me that was a good spot for them, sure. But to have the actual interface up there, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
You can't actually use that, and it's easy to use. I agree with the zebra prints, but I actually love that he did that, because I don't think I've seen like a zebra theme setup in the black and white, like that contrasted look. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Maybe some art under the shelves, like I'm thinking one on the left of the wire mold, one on the right. Really kind of piece it together. It looks really nice, but it's super simple. Cable management's really good. Overall, it's just a very simplistic, minimalistic, very nice setup for black and white, and I like it.
For sure. Like, it's unique. Mm-hmm. You can't. It's kind of hard to be unique when you're going for like a minimalist design. Yeah. So this is cool. He has zebras, like a safari theme going on, but lots of tweaks can be done. Lots of room for improvement, definitely.
Yeah, and I like the accessories he has on his table, the Mac stand, the Apple Watch and iPhone charger. Really nice, really great setup, but I don't really have anything else to say. I think that the other ones require a little bit more in-depth feedback. So if you have anything else to say, now's the time.
No, I think that's just about it.
All right, so next setup of the day is submitted by Mikah, I think it's Mikah, but
Mikah.
Yeah, so he is a fan of the show, blah blah blah, other cliche crap. That's what he wrote. Ha, that's funny. He handcrafted the swords, desk, and monitor riser from the finest of wood and material he found in a dumpster. This guy's funny. I like it.
Nice.
He used a binder clip technique that I made a video about. He made a ghetto signum from a stand that you would put in a locker. That's very smart. If you guys know about that, like middle school comes around, you get those stands in for your locker, and it's like the biggest deal. You could use those front of your desk. And then, yeah, he said, go ahead and rip me in half, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so with all that in mind, how old do you think he is?
I think this guy is just like, probably in like first or second year high school. Probably like 14, 15 years old. I'd say 15.
15? He's 16.
So, why am I always 1 year off?
I know. Seriously, it's going to happen the whole episode.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, this setup, at first glance, I just love the atmosphere that it has. The LEDs really help. The posters are really cool. The swords, knowing that you made them makes it even cooler. And it just seems like a very chill, relaxing setup. And it seems like you put a lot of your own work into it, crafting the desk, the monitor riser. It's all very custom, which is awesome. It's great to be unique. So what are your thoughts on this setup?
My thoughts on this setup, yeah, definitely it's cool to be unique. I love the fact that he put a lot of DIY stuff in it. But I'm wondering why he has this jersey up on the hanger. It kind of looks out of place. And I get that he's displaying the shoes, but I don't know, like some of it kind of looks out of place to me.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm here in his email. He just basically says that the cleats and the jersey, I don't know if each of them are $300 or something, but he said they have like a lot of value. And so
I'm not saying they're they don't have value, but
I guess that's why he's doing it. Like he wants to show off, like, hey, I love football and I love like check out my cleats, bro. So maybe that's why I never like. I think shoes are cool, but I've never been a shoe guy.
Same.
Yeah, so maybe we just don't get the appeal.
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's what he's into. So, but otherwise, other than that, I'm really bothered by the RJ45 cable hanging on the right side. Like, it's such an awesome setup. Again, very little tweaks to make this setup like, a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, those little wires below the monitor, it can be tidied up so easily. It's just, it kind of boggles my mind, like why you would put so much time and effort into building this, dream setup of yours, and then just skimp on the wire management.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. Also, he also like is probably deaf because he has Beats. So yeah, there you go. I just really pissed off half the community.
I hate. No, here's the thing. Beats are a ripoff, I swear.
Oh, they are. And there are people that can't accept that, so they always leave comments like, oh my god, if he likes Beats, let him like them. Like, come on, man. Like, trust me, Beats, you can get something better for a lower price.
That's true. Totally true.
And I saw another comment. Someone said, it lacks a color theme. And sure, there's no distinct red all through the setup. There's no distinct blue, but I like that. I like it. Yeah, every setup doesn't need to have a color theme, but this theme has is like folks around what he loves: soccer, comics, making stuff, swords, whatever the hell those things are. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? Does the color theme really matter?
Of course, it does matter, but in this case, I really like how muted it is. At the end of the day, you want to come home to a setup, to a gaming room, especially when you're at a young age, that you want to relax, de-stress from school or work. And I feel that this really achieves that. These muted color palettes. Like my room is like gray, dark grayish. You can see from the video. Yeah. So I'm a fan of muted colors. Like I really don't like super garish, bright red all over the place. So there is some restraint in this setup. and I really appreciate that.
I agree.
So,
yeah. It's a nice setup, and knowing that he's 16 is like, holy crap! Like you have a lot of potential ahead of you.
Definitely,
so,
I'm so envious of these youngsters, in this day and age, and there's so much room for improvement and possibility. They're so young, and they're just getting started in terms of the setup game. So
yeah, no, seriously, it's true. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do next. I can only imagine. I say this about a lot of people, but I can only imagine what happens when he gets his own place, like custom make everything for his house. So looking forward to that. Next setup though, submitted by Jason. He's an IT manager who loves my show, and he uses his setup for work and PC gaming. And at initial glance, I said to myself, oh God. And then I look closer, I'm like, oh wait. Yeah. Like normally these kinds of setups are like garbage, but this one is it's so good for what it is. So how old do you think he is?
Judging from what you said, I think he's about 23 years old.
He's 24. He's 24.
Oh my God! No, you gotta be kidding me, dude.
No, he's 24. You're off by a year again. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Like I said, initial thoughts. You usually see like a setup in this part of the room with this kind of furniture, and it's usually a mess. But this guy took it to a new level. He's working with a lot of tight space in certain areas, like the monitors don't really fit his legs, may not be the best, but he made it work, and it looks pretty comfortable to use. He's got a great display of theme. Wire management's really good. So when you looked at this, what were your initial thoughts?
When I looked at this, the first thing I noticed was that this setup looks classy. That wood, he made it work.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of sounded wrong, but in all seriousness, like this type of setup, I get what you mean. It's very challenging to make this kind of setup work. You got a very small desk, a very small work area, but he totally made it work. The computer's right there on the side, and there's ample leg room. Even though the trash can kind of bothers me that it's over there blocking the bottom shelf. But it has a cohesive theme. Like that old school Art Deco,
sure.
Bioshock-esque theme going on. And the desk totally matches that. The color of the carpet, the walls, the frames, everything. That's why we got that, wow. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I love that figure too. I don't know what the hell that's from up at the top, but like...
Yeah.
Is that...
I wish he got a better shot of it.
Is it Wolverine? Like, he's got the things coming out of his... Like,
looks
claws.
like it. Looks like it.
Someone's probably sitting there like, oh my God, Matt, you dumbass, you don't know what that is? So
oh my God, and the co-host doesn't know it either.
Yeah, should have known it.
Oh my God,
known. You guys are both stupid. But yeah, I mean, I look at this and the shelves. A lot of people right now, and I understand where they're coming from. All these people are younger, and they don't understand that you can have a more sophisticated, mature setup. And they're like, oh, grandma wants her desk back. Well, grandma is pretty hip then, because that's a nice ass desk. So
it's very classy.
Yeah,
I would love to have a desk like that.
Yeah,
like, workstation. But this is I'd like to commend the setup because we have so many setups today that look the same. You know what
Agreed.
I mean? There's a certain aesthetic that everyone follows. It's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of good setups out there right now, but I really have to commend people who aren't afraid to be different, and this is very unique.
I agree 100%. What you just said, it really is such a good point. I wish I would have thought of that, because literally today, you guys will notice if you pay attention, they're all pretty much the same. A simple white black desk, 3 monitors. They all have that look. But this, I like it a lot. It really, really works. And like you said, props to him. And he's an IT manager. He knows what's gonna work. If he wanted it to be a little bit more roomy, I think he'd make it work. But he's not dumb. So there we go. All right, let's go to the next setup submitted by Dreu. Dreu said, my setup is just where I game after a long day at work. My girlfriend and I moved into her parents' house to house/dog sit while they were working abroad in Taiwan. Wow, that's cool. He was pretty much given an empty desk and was told to make it his own. So he's looking for some feedback. So that's something we have to keep in mind. Like, this isn't necessarily where he can do a lot with the whole setup.
He's very limited.
Yeah. So knowing, his situation, how old do you think he is?
I'd say he's about 17, dude.
25.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I know a lot of people at first are not going to assume that, but yeah, there's a lot that can be done with this. I understand it's not like a thing that's going to be set up this way forever. You're not going to have everything in this exact placement, but there's definitely some cleaning, some rearranging that could be made to take it to the next level. Yeah, so
a lot of it.
What are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts in this is that the problem isn't that he couldn't do more. It's just he should do a lot less. I am extremely overwhelmed by this picture. Just looking at it, and I feel kind of stressed out already.
Yeah.
So he comes home to this to game, after whatever he does during the day, and it kind of feels very cluttered.
Yeah.
It looks a lot cluttered. I mean, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. He has this retro gaming station over here on the left side with that TV, and then a couple of monitors. He has a lot of great equipment. I'm sure the PC is decent, but it's just it's all over the place, man.
Yeah. Well, when I look at it, like the Star Wars thing.
Oh, and not to mention that blue snowball.
Oh yeah.
Not a big fan of blue.
It's so funny. People in the chat right now are like, "Oh my god, it's a blue snowball," and some people are like, "I don't understand what's wrong with blue snowballs. They're good, man." Yeah, whatever. I can make a whole video about that, and maybe I will,
totally.
maybe I won't. Now, when I look at this, things like the Star Wars thing on the desk, that's awesome, but that should be hung up on the wall.
I agree.
Things like that don't necessarily need to be on the desk. Shouldn't be there. Out of sight, out of mind. Are you literally playing with that arcade thing on the right side, that little white and blue thing as well? Like, are you constantly doing something with that? If not, put it in one of the drawers. Get it out of there. The left side it's hard. It's cramped. You have your camera on top of a speaker, and the speakers are just barely fitting in there. Everything. I mean, it's not the biggest desk ever, but if you want it to look clean, you need to kind of condense down a little bit. I mean, the entertainment center to the left is epic. You have some awesome stuff, a lot of throwback consoles, which is awesome. And really, it's not a bad setup considering your circumstances. And I feel like with a little bit of decluttering, this can be like a 90 setup for sure. So,
totally.
Not really much else to say other than declutter. I mean, you have cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, the Pokemon and Kylo Ren and all that, but it's just.
I'm just really curious, Matt. Like, you see this black chair thing underneath his keyboard. Is that where he sits on, or is that like a footrest?
I would assume that's a footrest. If he's sitting on that, then he's got a lot to worry about, because that's an awful chair.
I hope it isn't his chair. So.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, let's go to the next setup. Next setup of the day is submitted by Nick. And Nick says, I've been watching for a while, making changes from what I learned. I decided to submit. He's been working on setup for about 4 years with the money he made from his job, some of it from his parents. And he has a Twitch if you guys want to check him out, Shadow Gaming. And yeah, that's basically it. So how old do you think he is?
I think he's 19.
He is 16.
Oh.
So yeah.
Well, okay.
This is another one of those common setups, triple monitors, Linmod desk.
This is why it's hard. It's hard to tell the person's age, because this is what we're talking about. Like, it's basically like a template.
Yeah.
If you will.
So I mean, when I looked at this at first, I had a lot of mixed feelings, but this I think is the worst cable management actually the second worst cable management of today's episode. So that's not awful, because like the cables, they're easily like fixable, but still to know that's the second worst of the day, it's a good feeling. Cable management is getting better in the world, and I feel like I had played a big part in that. But I mean, what are your thoughts on the monitors?
My thoughts on the monitors, it's fine that they're not all the same size. They're all aligned, I'd say, pretty well. So, I mean, that works. I see the cohesiveness of the theme. The TV, it's okay. I think it could be a little lower. I don't know. Probably feel like he's breaking his neck. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on where he's sitting from. But I'm liking everything else. It's just the wire management, dude.
Yeah,
it's ruining it.
That's a problem. And it's funny because someone said That emoji pillow describes his setup.
No, don't be too harsh. Like again, we have a lot of good setups on the show right now. It's just that there are things that can be done to take it to the next level, and people really need to heed our advice on that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a 980 Ti, so I'm assuming his PC is pretty pimped out.
For sure.
And the cables just kind of kill it. If the cables were nice and the whole setup had a little bit more life to it, I feel like the setup would be insane. But it just goes to show you can pour, $10 million into your setup, but if the cables are all over the place, it's kind of an eyesore. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Again, like, it doesn't really matter to me that much. Like, if you have like a $10,000 setup or $100 setup, as long as you make it look good. Yeah. As long as you do all the steps, like out of sight, out of mind, proper cable management, nailing the right aesthetics, knowing what you want to achieve, and not just, throwing all the expensive gear in one place and just calling it a setup, throwing, LED lights and calling it a day. It doesn't work that way. So there you go.
Yeah. And I'm trying to read the comments to see if anyone has good recommendations, because I'm kind of drawing a blank. Like, there's something about it that's just lacking the wow factor. So I don't know what it is.
I think the wall really needs some sort of color splash. It looks so clinical to me. Recommendations. First thing I would change is that I would get a mechanical keyboard. This is a Razer Deathstalker, non-ultimate, and it's a good keyboard, but I really prefer mechanical keyboards, and I know a lot of our viewers prefer mechanical. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm still like literally staring at it, and I think it does come down to the walls. Like, it's like there's brown molding and stuff, and then like a very odd off-white wall color.
Yeah, there's probably like a few holes. Maybe he used to mount the monitors. That happened to me before. I used to have walls with like tons of holes in them because I used to move around my monitors all the damn time. So I'm guessing just repaint the walls, maybe like a nice cool gray color or something more.
That would look
homey.
So nice. Yeah,
something more homey. A little paint goes a long way. Now, how much does a can of paint cost? It doesn't cost that much.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, I don't have anything else to say unless you do.
Nope, that's about it.
All right, next set of the day is submitted by Jonathon. Jonathon, oh man, he's the thumbnail of the episode, and everyone just kept spamming the chat with Jonathon because they're like, "Who the hell's Jonathon?" I mean, it is a little weird to kind of put your name on the middle of the wallpaper, but I guess when you love yourself, you have to do that. So
you're proud of yourself.
Yeah, guys, spam the chat right now with Jonathon in all capital. Anyways,
I'm gonna spam him myself.
Do it. Yeah, there you go. So he said, let's see. This is my gaming and productivity setup. I do a lot of photoshopping, 3D modeling, and gaming of all sorts. You may have also noticed that in the background was made by me. Oh, crap.
Whoa.
I wouldn't have known. I thought you just downloaded a Jonathon triple monitor wallpaper. What's up, Tom?
No, I'm just like...
Oh, Tom's like... Yeah, he's like...
Such a cool wallpaper.
It's so cool, bro.
Oh.
And right now, he's probably crying. We're not trying to make fun of you. It's just making a joke. He said, this setup has taken him almost half a year to get close to finishing. The desk was built by his dad and himself. He used a buzzsaw, and then he's like, okay, he's like, you know what, my dad may have just built the setup for me, the whole desk and everything.
I'm sure.
And he's highly proud of it, and he wants to get a Blue Yeti eventually. Let me just tell you not to do that.
Why would you want to get a Blue Yeti? Why don't you get like a
AT2005 or AT2020 or not a Blue Yeti?
There's an Audio Technica USB microphone that sounds really good. And it's like what, $50, $70?
Yeah, you get the AT2005. Perfect microphone. Yeah. But all right, so with all that said, how old do you think he is?
Well, this looks like he's in their living room or something like that, and his dad basically built it for him. I'm guessing that he is probably less than 20 years old. 18.
13 years old. Yeah, seriously, 13 years old. I mean, I love and hate this setup because first off, the curtains, the blinds, like all that, really, really nice. The window layout is awesome. The desk fits in perfectly, matches the whole room. Really, really, really like that part of it. Triple monitors, really, really nice. Great peripherals. I mean, the extended mouse pad looks a little bit small when it comes to actually like moving the mouse around. But, you know, the cables, like pretty good. You could scotch tape the one so it's not hanging out. But for the most part, it's like, wow, this is really, really clean. But there's also, like, out of sight, out of mind doesn't mean get rid of everything off your desk. It means keep only what you use on a daily basis. So from what I see, he has no speakers. He has no,
dude, he could probably be deaf, you know?
Yeah. I mean, actually, are there speakers that are blended into the curtains?
I doubt it.
I look at the left side and I could see like a glare of sorts.
Let me take a closer look at that.
And like you see kind of a little bit of a shadow casting. No, maybe I'm just...
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm just really hoping he does have speakers.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, no speakers, no headphones.
I think it's another leg for the monitor.
Okay.
The leftmost monitor.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just really upsetting to see that he has nothing else on there. Like, I don't know about you, but like,
yeah,
I don't like that.
It's way too bare. You know, it's just like he purposely cleaned it up just for taking this photo. Or, you know, it's so... you know, there's no personality on it other than, of course, you know, that loud Jonathon wallpaper. But, you know, I'm starting to think that this is his dad's setup. And, you know, if he's really 13 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe they're sharing it. That's why he's not allowed to put a lot of, you know, little knickknacks and whatnot, usual 13-year-old stuff.
Maybe.
I find it hard to believe that, you know, a 13-year-old wouldn't have anything on the desk.
I've seen it before, you know, after doing so many episodes. There are some kids that are so mature and they think that that's like the way to be. But you're 13.
Wise beyond their years, yeah.
Yeah, when you're 13, you got to be 13. You got to enjoy life. Put up your little Barbie dolls on the shelf. Do whatever you got to do. Like, you know, show who you are. Don't be a boring adult, because being an adult is not fun. Be a kid. Just keep being yourself. Don't be like...
While you still have the chance.
Yeah, because, you know...
So 10 years older than you, and... Yeah, my room looks like a 13-year-old's room now, but, you know...
Yeah, be a kid for as long as you can, honestly. But, I mean, some people are saying this kid's, like, spoiled. It's not the best PC ever. You know, it's i5 4460, GTX 950. So for people,
that's a pretty like a
budget.
Level
yeah. So, you know, for people saying that he's like, you know, spoiled, I would beg to differ. He said each monitor was about $80. You know, he's not rolling around in dough. So I think it's a very, it's a great setup for his age.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is an example of setups that look expensive, but actually are not.
That is true.
Because people have executed it, have designed it in such a way where, you know, they achieve what they want. They have a clear vision of their aesthetic, and you know, I get that all the time. Like,
yeah,
when I started building my first setup like 4 years ago, people were like, "Oh, how much money do you spend on there?" I was like, your MacBook costs more than my whole setup, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like they totally get blown away.
And it's funny because someone said stop hating on kids. I just said be a kid. How's that? Yeah.
We're not hating on being, we're encouraging kids to be kids.
I hate kids so much. I want you to be a kid. Like, that makes sense. All right, let's go to the next setup.
Yeah, okay.
Next setup submitted by Sara from Las Vegas. She does not have a computer in her setup.
Whoa.
And this is not the first time on Pimp My Setup that it's been like this, but it doesn't happen often, because most of the time people send me like a picture of a TV and they're like, "This is my setup." It's like, okay. So what I found cool about this setup is that this is her living room where she spends most of her time when she's not working, but she actually streams on Twitch. So you could go twitch.tv/SaraNation if you want to check her out. But it's cool to see this setup, and she actually streams. And I looked at it. She streams pretty often. So I thought, you know, this is a cool setup. It's everything you would see in a setup minus the computer. So with all that in mind, how old do you think she is?
Another tough one, I'd say. 25.
Oh my God, dude. She's 24. I'm
on a roll, Matt. I'm on a roll.
It seems that way. So, all right, here's the thing. some people are going to be angry that there's no PC in the setup. I see a few people say that already. And someone said, how do you stream without the PC? Well, she said that she does mainly PlayStation, so you could stream right from PlayStation itself. Especially when you have a good headset and everything. Yeah, most people won't even realize. So, I mean, this doesn't have a PC, and some people are angry. Some people find it awesome. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
My initial thoughts when I saw this was that this is someone's cave. Mm-hmm. So, with that said, again, it's kind of overwhelming, but it's tailor fit for that specific person. Like, if she wants it kind of like, all over the place, there's plenty of collectibles everywhere, and that makes her feel comfortable in her cave, then so be it. But for me personally, I don't like all the clutter.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of putting pop vinyls on top of the console. I think that, is pretty bad for airflow, but, I'm just nitpicking. It's a great setup. A TV could use an upgrade.
Especially when that's your main part of the setup. You would expect to have some crazy ass curved UHD TV of sorts. But instead it just looks like a fat ass Vizio. So hey, over time I'm sure she'll do that. The furniture itself, it doesn't match, which is also frustrating to me.
The blue on the darker wood in the middle, and then the light wood
it's
on the
all
left
over
and
the
right.
place.
It's messing with my OCD, man.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at this, I feel like the way she should have it set up is not having the console there with the pop vinyls on top of it, but actually, put it in between the consoles and really display it nicely and make it minimalistic and whatnot, but then have the outers be filled. I don't mind the left shelf. I think it's pretty cool. She's got all her pins along the left side. It works.
Yeah.
It's what she likes. And like you said, this is her cave. This is her female cave. If she likes it like this, then she's going to do it like that. So, it's not much to say about it.
I mean, it looks a bit cluttered, but it's clean, definitely. I mean, look at the carpet. I mean, it's spotless, dude. Maybe she could paint the cabinets on the left and right. Match the color of the middle one. That's it. And maybe paint the blue shells black, perhaps, or something else.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just kind of.
If she does that, it will look 10 times better.
Reading the chat, very mixed. Very mixed,
eh?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say, but I think it's interesting to see a different kind of setup. So, yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next setup submitted by JJ. He's got a black and white themed setup, mostly a console gamer, so his computer is nothing fancy. He wants to build a new one eventually, and he really likes football and the Green Bay Packers, and he also has a autographed Aaron Rodgers football. That's what that ball is right there. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So, taking a look at this, first off, before we even guess his age, what really drove me crazy was it's such an off-white, and it's it's really irritating. But anyways, how old do you think he is?
Another tough one.
Yeah, very tough.
Right now, it's just basically a guessing game. Can't even guesstimate. Probably 23.
This is gonna piss so many people off. He is 14 years old.
No way.
Yeah, he's 14. Way. Yeah. So I mean, I don't have any other information in terms of how he apparently has so much money and things like that. But he's 14, and this is another person who is 14. You should live life a little bit more. It's so blah. I mean, and the off-white wall really irritates me. I said that already, but it kind of makes it look gross. Maybe the white balance is off.
No,
I don't know.
You know what? I really agree with that sentiment about the walls. If he really fixes the color of the walls, this will look, totally amazing. He's 14 years old. I know he probably can't, fix the color of the carpet. I mean, again, it looks blech.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a doctor's office.
Especially with the wool color matching that floor, it's
yeah. So I don't think it's probably not in the white balance, because it kind of looks the same with the carpet and the border. So,
Well, I mean, look at the PS4 and the PC. Like, it's very white, and then the walls just aren't.
Yeah. But, you know, props to him for keeping a consistent black and white theme on the accessories, on the football, PS4, that extended playmat. He has like I think that's a DAS keyboard and an MX Master. Those are some pretty good gear.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I mean,
hard to believe he's 14 years old.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying like, what chair is that? The chair actually isn't even that expensive, which is cool. I think it's like $100 or something.
Yeah,
around there. So it definitely adds to it. It makes it look like, holy crap, like, this dude's got a dope chair and he got a dope this and dope that. So, I mean, the moon thing, I looked at that. I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe this dude's like 20 something. Like, that's cool. But 14, like, that should be a picture of like Barney and Sesame Street and stuff. Like,
no, but hey, you know, some kids are like, you know, way more mature than than others, and it's cool to be different. Oh yeah, it's cool to be different, and I'm not hating on his theme here in this case because. You know, for me personally, I think this shows a lot of his personality. Like he's mature for a 14-year-old, but you know, this maybe like if the wiring could go behind the wall, other than, you know, just laying there on the side like a big tube. That, you know, giving it this look that it's floating, it'll be like super cool. Yeah.
Web0017 in chat put it perfectly. He said, "Nice and slick, but the whites clash." It's as simple as that. That's really what it is. When you go for a white setup, you quite literally want it to be all white, not a little bit of tan, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of off-white. It's just odd. And someone said, you know, actually, no, I'm not going to mention that. Stupid. But, I mean, for 14, holy crap. If I'm colorblind, well, actually, if I'm colorblind, I'm still going to see this a little bit off. But if I was just, you know, not looking at the color aspect, it's a clean, dope-ass setup. Yeah. And I give you props for being able to do what you've done. But, final thoughts. What would you do to take this to the next level?
This one, definitely change the color of the walls. Yeah.
Imagine a gray.
Yeah, that would be so sick.
Even that would just help with the whites, because I don't think any of the actual accessories are off-white. It's just the wall. And it ruins everything for me, but, you know.
Other than the color of the walls, dude, like, this is a sick setup. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Final setup of the day submitted by Joe. Joe's been watching for a long time. And he said, "Yo, Sam Smith." Okay. Well, that's the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding. He thinks he's funny. Yeah, real funny. So he loves to make videos, make and edit videos, hoping to meet me soon. I was at StreamCon in October. He was there, and he missed the chance to meet me. So, you know, he's
once
really
in a lifetime.
Yeah, he's really devastated right now, still. So that's sad. But yeah, anyways, taking a look at this, how old do you think he is?
This looks like some sort of a university college dorm type thing.
It's in his house, I can tell you that.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It doesn't look like that, actually. More I look at it.
Yeah. No, what was I thinking? He is 17.
16. So that's a whole episode. You can get one right, but it's all right. Maybe next time.
I knew I was going to be bad at that again.
Yeah, so the first thing I noticed, like, this setup is very contrasty. The black, and especially in the first photo, it's hard to really make things out because of how... okay. All right, someone with a race car decided to drive by. That's cool. But it's, like, very black. And in the first photo, it's kind of hard to make things out. But in the second photo, you kind of see a little bit better. And you can see this was the one with the worst cable management. And it's... Okay, it's following into a certain direction. It just needs to be cleaned up a bit. Not the worst cleanup ever, but I mean, initial thoughts. What do you think of the setup?
Initial thoughts. It's very, very functional. You got that boom arm and that what is this? Like a drawing station towards the right.
Yeah.
The speakers are pointing towards his ears. It's very functional. Got a triple monitor display angled down so he doesn't break his neck. Everything, ample space, ample leg room. Just the cables, again, throwing the setup off. Like, you know, if you fix the cables, this will be really cool.
Yeah. Now, my thing, it's lacking a bit of color and a little bit of I mean, I understand
Perhaps a
if
bit
you
of
don't want
personality.
Yeah,
perhaps a bit of personality.
I mean, if you don't want to have some color, like that's fine. But the LEDs, I really like that touch, and I would love to see a little bit more flow
Indeed.
through.
It's a very stark contrast. He has black curtains, so I guess that kind of looks sick when he closes the windows at night. But yeah, make it flow more. Maybe some more LEDs under the desk, perhaps after you clean up the wires.
So yeah, I'm looking at this, and there's another setup where I'm just kind of like, it's good. It's just lacking a little bit in certain areas, like clean up the cables.
Attention, it's the attention to detail that a lot of people lack.
Yeah, and it's
But
true.
looking at all these setups though, and not just this one, but this one in particular, like we keep saying that the cables are bad, but what a big difference from one of the earlier episodes of Pimp My Setup.
Yeah,
What a difference.
yeah. And if you look at his monitors, it actually says "Work Harder 2014." I don't know the story behind that, but yeah, cool. So yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Just fix the cables, man. Fix the cables, please.
Yeah,
And you'll have an awesome setup.
boom. All right, let's go through the scores. First setup, you ready, Tom? Okay, Nils got an 84. Micah got an 87. Jason got an 88. Dreu got a 73. Nick got a 70. Jonathon got an 84. Sara got an 82. JJ got first place with an 89. And Joe got a 70. And that's what's crazy to me. Like, literally, some of these people can have their setups in the 90s with just a little bit of work. Just a little bit. Not even anything crazy. So, great setup. Great setups. Great episode.
Close game, guys.
Yeah,
Very close.
it was a good one. I really enjoyed it. Guys, type 111 in the chat if you think we should have Paco back on. Sorry, I like saying it like that.
Yes, please.
Type 111 in the chat. And then, of course, all your links are going to be down below in the description for people to check out. Go subscribe. Let's get them to 6 subscribers instead of 4. And then, oh my God, Tom, look at the size of that bee that's in here. That's a big bee.
End the episode.
Okay, we're going to end the episode. There's a big bee. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And
All right.
we'll catch you on the Flippity Flop. See ya.